Hi, Rob Lukey with Shop Prop Realty. What we're going to do real quickly is kind of come up with an idea of how we analyze a property and come up with a price on the buy side. We do the same work that we do on the sell side, but this will give you an idea of how we work with buyers to come up with the best purchase price. So let's say a client says, hey, I'm interested in 981 Northeast Ellis. What do you think as far as the value is on that property? So how do we come up with a starting price and the terms and the offer price? The first thing what we're going to do is come up with the preliminary price on the property. We're also going to reach out to the listing agent to check the competition on the property. How many offers? What terms the seller's looking for? The seller may or may not be unrealistic in their price. We have to establish that, and then our buyer can decide whether or not they want to move up or down in price accordingly. So what we're going to do first is find comps that are similar. Now, appraisers can only go back 3 to 6 months, but we look at properties even going back several years, and then we evaluate where the market was at that particular time to give us a better idea as far as price, because we want the best comps available. So properties and models that are 2,172 square feet. So we're going to do an analysis and find obviously properties that sold. These happen to be townhomes. Find homes that sold in the area, and then we're going to evaluate them accordingly. So these are new construction. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate these immediately and say, you know, we're not going to use these. So we'll delete these rows. We'll also take a look at where these properties sold at in relationship to the rest of the market. Now, why is it important to evaluate where the market is? Because do buyers sometimes get anxious and they're working with agents, and the agents may or may not care, and they're just buying properties because the market's going crazy, and they get involved with bids and so forth and are trying to outbid people. That does happen. So just because you have buyers that are doing that are paying over market value for the property, when the market takes a dump or when it slows, they'll be the ones that are stuck overpaying for a property. For example, this particular property was bought in April of 2018. This property was bought in May of 2018. That means it went pending probably in April of 2018. We know that this was the top of the market. Now you'll see 3 charts here. This happens to be in Issaquah, which is the property that we're looking at purchasing, right, is in Issaquah. So we know also that in Issaquah that we'll see price ranges go ahead and move very quickly. So these aren't always the best to look at when it comes to overall average prices. So we want to take a step back and take a look more at the overall county that it's in to get a little bit better of idea. We have more homes selling. Again, what you see is less price movements in that particular chart. And then if we go to the entire MLS, we even see even less price fluctuations. So we know that the top of the market was here. We can see that this person ended up purchasing the property right at the top of the market. We see this big spike, and then when obviously we see this downward move into the current low of the market was actually set back really in late 2018. And remember, we had those late 2018, and we're always going to see a month or so lag in the market because we have 35 to 40-day closes. So we'll see that kind of lag occur before we see the market pick back up. So are we going to use these particular comps? No. They sold at the top of the market. That's too bad. Those people got caught up in the bidding frenzy of the market and ended up paying. They'll have to wait for the market to come back up and match them. I mean, realistically, when you look at it, this person right here bought the property for almost $100,000 over the current market value, which we're going to establish here in a second where it is now. So let's go ahead and take those out. Oops. Go ahead and delete these rows. And then we'll take a look at these particular properties, and we're going to have to evaluate it and get an idea of what we think as far as the value goes. Again, take a look at these 2 comps. They sold in September of 2019. Those are the most recent comps. It's currently January 30th, but is it a different market now than it was in that time frame in 2019, in late 2019. And in fact, we can see in late 2019, the market has picked up, right? Here's King County. We can see that this was kind of the lower part of the market, and we can see the market has already started to move up and start to see a little bit of an increase. And this is actually December. If we go into January, we'll see that it's even gotten better, right? Where the market's even gotten a little bit better. So we have to then put on this price of about this movement of the average of King 615 to 590. So 615 from 590, right? Minus 590,000 is 25,000, right? Divided by the $590,000 is about a 5% move. These were the latest sales. So 775 times 1.05 is right around $813,000, okay, for these two properties that sold now in September of 2019. We can also take these properties and we can go ahead and subtract accordingly from November of 2018, right, which was in this time frame, and can say, okay, these actually, the market actually sold, and we can see that the market is actually a little bit lower than that price, and then we could calculate these accordingly. Now, as far as that goes, I think that we can look at these two comps that we have, and I would eliminate these, since these are, these are at a little bit higher prices. We could do an analysis and subtract those as well. But I think that what we have is if we delete these, we take the market movement. These are recent sales. We take the market movement, obviously, that we see via the charts. We add on the 1.05. We can come up with that this is $813,750 for the price of the home. That's about market value for the property right now. The home currently is listed at $815,000. That's about what it should be worth at this point. We know now that we can go to our client, and if they're putting in an offer, this is the base price. This is the preliminary market value for the home. We can then go back. We can check with the competition. If the buyer chooses to pay up because we get in a multiple offer situation, they'll be doing it with the best information possible, knowing that they're doing it. And this way, they'll hopefully never get caught up in this frenzy of buying, which is what we saw here, where somebody ended up in a position where that they were paying $100,000 over. This movement here is the last of this kind of move up. Now, I'm not saying that the market's never going to get back into this price range where that person that bought it $915,000 is going to get back into the market, but it would be better off being able to analyze that this is kind of this frenzy going on, being able to go ahead and wait and potentially purchase in this range because you're understanding where the market value is of a property. That's what we do here at Shop Prop. I hope that helps, and it helps you analyze properties so that you can avoid, again, being able to pick up properties and being able to get the most out of your investment when you're purchasing a home. Thanks a lot.